Welcome to today's program for Men Only. I'm Pastor Tim Cross. I'm the pastor of Living Word Church in Muskegon, Michigan. We're so glad you joined us. I'm here with some of my men from my ministry, and we're talking about issues that are for men only, and we're talking to men. So I know I just challenged you ladies at the opening of this program. Maybe I wouldn't doubt there's a few ladies out there that you said, "What's that guy doing telling me I can't watch this program?" And you stayed in. You stayed on the channel to see what we have to say. Well, really, we're a program that is for men. We're talking to men, and we're talking about men's issues, and we're challenging men. And we realize that there used to be at one time in the United States of America at least an image of what a man was. And it seems like that image has either been destroyed or is extremely fuzzy. And we're going back, and to a degree, trying to rebuild that image and taking a look at what that image should be. And we've been looking at various issues. Now, what we're going to do in today's program is talk about a man and his children. A man and the children that he has sired, or that have been given birth to, that he is responsible for. We're going to talk about some of the roles that men have and the responsibility that they have towards their children. Now, first of all, I'll start off by saying I have had 7 children. I've got about 4 of them, 5 of them out of the home, still got 2 in the home. So I know a little bit about it. I've learned a little bit after 7 kids. Now I've got David Erickson. David, glad to have you today. We've been together a number of years now. How many years have we been together? 16, 17 years. Now you've had, now David, I'm not trying to tell on you, but you've had 2 children.
2 biological and 2 adopted.
And 2 adopted. You adopted 2 children, and your children. Now, not to pick, but I mean, I admire you and honor you. I mean, 2 of your children have what, fetal alcohol syndrome that you adopted?
Yes, they do. Ladies, if you're thinking about drinking, don't. The price is too high for everybody.
Okay, so you've raised 2 kids and adopted 2.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we've got over here Preston. You're the old man. But
yes, I am.
Yeah, you are. All right. Now, Preston, you've had 2 daughters
and a son.
Correct. Okay. Now, not picking, and I guess, and partly just from perspective, one was from a first marriage,
correct,
and then 2 daughters from your second marriage.
Correct.
So you've got that perspective of having some battles and some warfares and working through all of that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your kids have done pretty decent.
Yes, they have. Tasers work well.
He's joking.
Just joking. Yeah, just joking. Yes.
Okay.
We're very fortunate.
All right. And then we've got Adam. Adam, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Now, how many kids have you got?
I got 3.
You got a few more to go, right?
No.
No.
I got 3.
You got
and that's
3.
it.
All right. Now, you're the youngest one of us. Now, your children are what age?
I got 8, 6, and 3.
Oh, man, you still got youngins in the house.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, we're talking from a perspective of having children, dealing with them. Some of us, we might be able to say we've been successful. Some might have struggled with. We're going to just share some perspective. But I want to start off, guys, and maybe let's just talk about this. One of the things that we deal with are different worldviews.
Yes.
And these 2 worldviews tend to collide.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is we all look at things, we all have some sort of glasses on, whether we wear glasses or not. We've all got some sort of lens that we look at life through.
Correct.
And there is a worldview that I've heard out there, guys, maybe you can chime in. There's a worldview out there that is almost like, man, kids are a hassle. I listen to some, they almost like, man, I can't stand my kids do this and what have you. And there's that type of worldview that where almost you hear a spite or a little bit of a, man, kids are hard, and man, I don't know if I want more than one kind of thing. And who would dare think of adopting children, especially children that might have some struggles or be special needs children, as compared to what I might say a biblical worldview.
Yes.
that looks at children much different. All right, guys? So what, Preston, what do you see? What now from that collision, what do you see or what do you hear? I mean, you talk to a lot of people. What do you see out there in the world?
The worldview is don't have very many children, the world's overpopulated, and you're doing a disservice to the world because there's limited supplies. And God says, no, children are a gift from me. And when you get together and you get a blend, and when you have a family of 3 or 4 or 5 or more, they have to learn to work together. Okay, they do, and they learn to work, and they learn to say, it's not all about me. The world just doesn't revolve around me. And the sad thing is I see children, and I've got a gal that works for me, she's got 1 child, and she has to battle with that child, that world revolves around that child. When you start having brothers and sisters, you find out that world does not revolve around you. So there is a battle. There's a battle between what the world says and what the Christian view is. And the Christian view is really backed up by the research. That the research says that 97% of all parents have no regrets of having children. So it's not a question of mind or money and time and effort, is it? And 75% of all parents assume having children strengthen their marriage. So you think about that, because they all have to learn to work together. And it says, and this is interesting too, 89% of all parents say that having children increased their enjoyment of life. It's brought me great joy. I'm so glad I wasn't an only child. My youngest daughter, Katie, wanted to be an only child. And the interesting thing is, she would be devastated today. And the problem with being an only child too is when your parents pass on, who have you got? Nobody. Nobody to continue. So it's interesting. So there is a worldview which contrasts against the Christian or biblical worldview. And the biblical worldview really lines up what the research is saying out there. Not what the world is saying, but what does the research actually say? When George Barnett goes out and does the research and says, this is what the research is saying. So it's an interesting, it's a constant clash.